Hello everyone, welcome to this short video where I want to talk to you about how we're moving forward following the easing of restrictions of July the 19th. I'm sure you're really keen to hear what we're planning. We have up to this time been following government advice and then beyond government advice following the Baptist Union advice as well. We know that the government are easing all restrictions from July the 19th, and we've just received a message from the Baptist Union that says that it's now down to each church to determine for itself what measures they put in place. But both of those places are also saying that whilst we are now free to do things, infections are still rising and there is a need for continuing caution, particularly in the areas of ventilation, face covering and hygiene. So we want to bear all those things in mind, and what I'm about to share with you is our best decisions, I think, about moving forward over the next few weeks, which both embrace some of the freedoms that are here, but also protect each other as we come together. Some of you may find some of these suggestions hard, but I ask you to show grace to each other at this time and follow really that spirit of Jesus that says that really we need to look to the needs of others as well as just to ourselves. Finally, I want to say that what I'm about to share to you is about our August arrangements. We will review those again at the end of August. I'm not going to be speaking to you about children's work because during this time we're going to be having all-age services. There are plans afoot for a return of some children's work in September. We've already begun youth work, and of course early years work has been continuing throughout, and we'll fill you in more about those at a later time. But for now, let me talk to you about what we've decided for the next few weeks. So, from the first Sunday after July the 19th, the first thing that you won't need to engage with is this. We're no longer going to ask you to book into our services. You're free to show up on Sunday morning without booking, and we won't be keeping records of people who attend here either. We will continue to stream services online during this period, so if you're not coming here, there will be provision and you'll be able to see those services as we go. But we would encourage you, as and when you feel comfortable, to come back here, because church ultimately is about being together, and we'd love to see you. The second thing, when you come here after July the 19th, is we'll no longer have a one-way system. All the signs that we've had up will have gone down, and there'll be new signage coming up which will help you to find your way in and know what you need to do while you're here. One of the things that we'll continue to ask you to do when you arrive is to sanitise your hands. This is just good common sense, and we want people to continue to doing that probably for some time into the future. And a new thing about the culture that we want to establish here is to do with these. If you haven't got a self-test, COVID test at home, we have plenty of them here and we can give you one for free. But what we'd really ask you to do is, if you're coming on Sunday morning or to any large gathering that we may have here in the future, that you will take a test before you come here, before you arrive at the building, and know for certain that you have tested negative. If by any chance you test positive or you're feeling unwell, we'd really request that you don't come to the building during this time. We want to be as sensible as possible and keep it as safe as possible as we come. One of the things that we've all found most difficult is wearing a face mask, and we thought long and hard about what to do with that. We're actually going to ask you in the next few weeks to follow the pattern of what you have been asked to do at restaurants in recent weeks, which is, as you come in the door, we ask you to put your face mask on because it breeds confidence and it protects one another. And we ask you to continue wearing your face mask while you're walking all around the communal aspects of the building until you go upstairs. And we ask you to continue wearing your face mask until you get to your seat, at which point you're free to take your face mask off during the service. Of course, if you feel more comfortable continuing to wear your mask throughout the whole time you're here, we would very much encourage you to do that as well. There is one other part about face masks that we'd like to ask you to seriously consider. We are going to embrace singing again together after July the 19th, but singing remains one of the most dangerous or vulnerable aspects of as we meet together. The point of wearing a mask is not so much to protect yourself, but to protect other people. So our suggestion, our strong recommendation is that when we sing, and only when we sing, you put your mask back on again. That means that when we sing, you're protecting the people around you, you're showing them love and compassion, and it still allows you to la 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 la. What more can you want? Furthermore, a mask may protect you from the singing of the person next to you, and that might not be such a bad thing after all. What about distancing when you come in? Well, if you've been here at all in recent weeks, you'll know that we've had alternate rows actually shut so that people are sitting 2 rows apart the whole time. What we're now going to do is take out about a third of the chairs in the central section, spread them slightly further apart, but also make all the chairs that are here available. What this means there'll be more seating available, but it will still be at some distance from each other. We continue to ask you, if you sit in the same row as somebody from another household, that you leave at least 1 chair and possibly 2 chairs between you. This again is to help us to protect each other and to keep us as safe as possible. At the same time, we're going to continue in this area here, having small tables and chairs for families. We hope that that will be something that will develop into the future. We like the way that there's provision for people of all ages through that. And on the far side, we're going to put out a few more plastic chairs, but they will be further apart. So if you're coming here and you're thinking, I don't want to be sitting too close to people, the far area here will be a more socially distanced area than the majority of our auditorium. And we want, again, to feel that you have that space, if that's what you want. Finally, I want to talk to you about ventilation. This is a really important aspect of how we protect each other in the building. What we're going to do is, when whoever arrives first early on Sunday morning, they will open up as many windows as possible and get air moving around the building. During the service, we will have the windows at the front and also at the back on the left open right the way through the whole service, and some windows downstairs. All the doors up to the auditorium will be open and there will be an airflow going through. We have to balance the fact that we want ventilation against the fact that, unfortunately, we have to watch the level of noise to our neighbours here. And there are legal reasons that, historically, that we're working with. So what's going to happen is that the windows and the roof here will be open all the time, apart from when we're singing and we're using amplified music. Someone in the auditorium will be controlling that. We believe we're doing the best we can there to keep an airflow flowing through and to keep people as safe as possible. Of course, even in normal summers, we get very, very hot here. So please do bring water. We are resisting using the fans here at the time, because one of the main pieces of advice is that fans spread the air around and cause the disease to spread. So although it would be nice to cool down, we believe that's the right thing to do for this moment. Now, I've outlined to you there a whole load of different things about how we're going to move forward. The main message is that we are going to sing, that we're going to have more freedom of movement, that we're going to have more people here, that you're not going to need to book. So a lot more freedom as we're coming in. There are still some cautions that I've outlined there, and some of you may not like that, but I really ask you to consider making a small sacrifice in order to make as many people as possible feel comfortable. So the idea about wearing your mask while you sing, wearing your mask until you sit down, and if you want to, wearing your mask throughout, of course that's free to do that. We want to be a church which shows grace to each other, which goes the extra mile to make other people feel as comfortable as possible and not constantly to be thinking about our own wants and our own needs. If you have any questions about that, please do contact the office, and we look forward to seeing you really soon.